Hello viewers, welcome to our new episode of Talk Show on Career Guidance. Civil service jobs are one of the most lucious jobs ever. So, if you are also aspiring for civil service exam, then this talk show is absolutely for you. So, let me introduce our guest today. Our guest is Mr. Shankar Ray. So, when you talk about Mr. Shankar Ray, he is the director of Northeast Institute of Advanced Studies. He has penned down several books on civil service exam and have successfully guided numbers of IAS achievers. So, welcome Mr. Ray, welcome to the talk show.
Thank you, Mr. Sama.
Okay. So, why do you think that the Northeast people, particularly from Assam, perform poorly in the civil service exam?
Okay. So, even after since independence, it's more than 70 years, and the Northeast region especially has not shown much presence in the national era, either in politics, either in economics, either in science and technology, either in contribution in the other era platforms. So, it requires a much driving force, and the driving force is the youth of Assam as well as the Northeast. In fact, the last UPSC Civil Services Examination 2018, approximately 10 lakhs aspirants, they have filled up the form for the examination. And out of 10 lakhs aspirants, around 3 lakhs aspirants, they have really appeared for the examination. And out of that, 759 candidates, they got selected into the final merit list. And out of the 759 candidates, only 18 number of candidates are from Northeast and 13 are from Assam. So, the success rate is approximately 0.02%, which is a sorry figure while we try to compare with the different states of our country. And the reasons are many, especially the minimum eligibility criteria to appear for the examination is 21 years and graduate. If a person is in the final year of the graduation, also can appear. So, here the higher education plays a very crucial role to save the youth of Assam as well as the Northeast.
So, one reason is higher education.
One of the reason is the higher education, but at the same time, when we analyze the entire problem or the concerns, there is a completely missing of the competitive ecosystem, especially building and preparing for the civil services examinations. And I believe to have a prosper and developed state, more and more administrators as well as a strong bureaucracy is required. When I am talking about the strong bureaucracy, I mean to say the bureaucrats or the administrators, they could act as agents of change, and that is very much necessary to bridge the gap between the government and the people, so that the administrators, they can fulfill the aspirations of the people. And that is the reason why we have to promote more of our youths, especially Assamese youth, to come up in a large number and appear for the civil services and crack the civil services.
Agents of change.
And agents of change is one of the most important.
It sounds
factor.
good, huh?
So, the higher education which I am talking about, there have been many attempts which I have observed. As I have rightly highlighted, that higher education plays a very vital role for shaping the youth. Till today, we have observed that the census data talks about approximately 4 lakh are coming up, which are educated youths, and they are not getting the employment opportunity. Very few numbers, approximately 80,000 youths are getting an employment opportunity, and what about the rest of 3,28,000? So, the entire higher education system needs to guide not only in an objective to provide the knowledge based system, but also one of the objective of the higher education should be to aware the students and the candidates and the youths for their future, for the socio-economic developments, as well as for the what is after the graduation, what are the career opportunities are available after the graduation. So, perhaps the need of the hour is to build up a competitive ecosystem which includes good trainers, good quality of educations, good resources,
Can you simplify the term ecosystem?
Okay, so ecosystems, when I'm talking about ecosystems, means the enabling environment which will compel a student to prepare psychologically, as well as the necessary resources required to prepare, like good quality of education, training or mentors. So these are the basis of the ecosystems. I believe that higher educations can play a better role to build up the ecosystem, especially the competitive ecosystem.
Okay, so these are the two reasons why Northeast people, particularly from Assam, they are not scoring high marks in good civil service exam. So do you think that the people of Assam is less competitive?
Okay,
very diplomatic question, but still I am asking, is the people of Assam is less competitive?
I would not say that people of Assam are less competitive. Rather, I would like to highlight and answer this question that Assam is facing a lot of socio-economical and socio-political concerns. And I believe Assam is filled with a lot of capabilities which, if trapped in a sustainable and efficient manner, it can provide never anticipated results. The census data of 2011 shows that 1.5 million of educated youths who are unemployed in Assam. At the same time, that is further stated by the Ministry of Human Resources, Government of India, 2015-16, that approximately 2.17 lakhs of youths are graduating each year from Assam. When I talk about the higher secondary as well as the secondary education, secondary level educations, approximately 1.6, 1.7 lakhs youths are coming out. So if I sum up, it is approximately 4 lakhs of youth are coming each and every year. So the problem which I highlighted in the previous question, that as per the Government of Assam data, approximately 56,000 they have been employed in the government sectors, and only 4% out of this 4 lakhs youths have, as per the UPSC data, they have entered into the UPSC. That's approximately roughly 16,000. If I talk about the SBI, bank PO and clerical jobs, so it is approximately 23,000, and moreover 7 to 10% is in related to other government jobs, like for example railway or maybe SSC, maybe Reserve Bank of India grade 2 officers. So that means there is a dearth of employability opportunity, and I divide the youth of Assam and the Northeast in 2 categories. One is who are competitive, and the second category within quote non-competitive or less competitive. Competitive means at least who have appeared in any of the competitive examinations, and non-competitive means they have never appeared in the competitive examination or maybe appeared but without any preparations. So here the need of the hour, at whatever stage our youths are at present, probably we have to look for the opportunities, we have to look for the more developments, how we can empower our youths, how we can empower more competitive our youths. I have been traveling many places and I could observe that here in Assam, people are having so much of capabilities. They are very doing well in their own higher studies career. But the higher studies and the competitive examination sectors are completely different. Though the syllabus might remain same, but the preparation, the orientation, the kind of guidance is completely different in the competitive examinations. Perhaps the need of the hour to ensure that how to empower, how to encourage more of our youth to come up with more competitive while comparing to the different states of our country.
Okay, so kindly give a highlight on fed-up competitive environment in Assam and way forward. How can we rectify it?
Okay, I think when we talk about the competitive environment of Assam, perhaps we have to understand the competitiveness is always a comparative term. One person can be more competitive than the other, and the competitiveness has many dimensions to understand. If we try to understand the facts, figures of the UPSC civil service examinations. In the last 3 to 4 years, the success rate of Assam is less than 0.67%. I would say, though in last 2 to 3 years, though the number of candidate successfully clearing the UPSC civil service examination is increasing, but perhaps while comparing to the national data, the rate and the growth is not that much of encouraging. Like for example, in Delhi, in Rajasthan, Bihar, perhaps the success rate is approximately 14 to 16%, which clearly shows that there is something lacking here. I understand the capabilities are equal, the resources are equal to each and everyone. However, how we utilize the resources for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the career development of self, requires serious attention. And when we talk about the competitiveness, especially the dearth of competitiveness in the northeast region as well as Assam, I believe that first and foremost the lack of information. So when the information is not available in a coherent manner, when students are not aware, when the candidates are not aware related to what kind of examinations, which date, which examination will be conducted, what is the syllabus pattern, what are the reference books, what are the good training modules, what are the types of question papers, it is almost difficult for one aspirant, for one youth to compete with the national level. While comparing other states, the youths of other states, especially Rajasthan, Delhi, they are very updated. They are day to day updated, they read newspaper daily. They are updated with each and every central government jobs opportunities, state government jobs opportunities, private sector opportunities. But here, the lack of information is one of the main reasons.
One is lack of information.
One of the main reasons. And in that particular point, I would like to highlight that I think before 15 to 20 years, we have observed that there was no internet. So that was probably one of the reasons. But today's era, internet is available. And with our fingertips, we can access to billions of informations. So the problem what is happening with the internet, the informations which are available, perhaps candidates or the youths are not able to filter what is authentic information and what is not authentic, what to follow and what not to follow. Or maybe overfeeding of information is one of the reasons why youths are very confused. Okay. So that is one of the reasons which I have understood. Second reason I would say that lack of professional institutions. When we talk about the guidance towards competitive examinations, a wholesome professional educations, not only they will be able to guide the youth for the competitive examination, but also they will be able to make them more professional and they will be able to make more employability. So there is a lack of professional education institutions which needs to be nurtured. Number third reason which I understand is the quality of education. As in the previous discussion I have highlighted that competitive examinations requires a different pattern, different set of orientation, different set of preparation. So for that, the quality education is much more essential. And when I am talking about the quality education, I am talking about the quality trainers. So this competitive examinations requires specific professional trainers and coach who can tell them the latest trend of the examinations, who can tell them what needs to be studied, what to avoid. So the lack of professional good education along with the lack of quality education is one of the another reason. Next reason I could find out that lack of availability quality resources. When I am talking about the resources are like study material, because not only the informations are important, but also if a topic is there for according to the syllabus, from the topic, from the ocean of knowledge, what are more important for specifically for the examinations, perhaps that has to be bit of developed and the resources needs to be developed. Second thing, the another point of aspect that related to, there is a typical psyche, the psychological impact, and the psychological impact that UPSC civil services examination is very tough, and people feel that no, they are not capable to crack the examinations. But this is a myth. There are a lot of rumors related to that. I understand the UPSC civil services examination is just like another examination. The way we have given 10th, 10+2 or graduation or maybe master degree examinations, similarly UPSC civil service examinations requires a specific pattern. It has a syllabus. Follow the syllabus, inculcate proper guidance, and then you give the examination. Then a student can crack it. So, and last but not the least, the ecosystem, the environment which I am talking about. What happens in the in other states? I have observed that since childhood they have been always dreamt about becoming an IAS officer. When they look at the district collector or district or deputy commissioner, they want to become like an IAS or IPS officer. But here, the awareness about the career opportunity, like in UPSC civil service examination, there are more than 22 services, and IAS, IPS, and Indian Foreign Service, Indian Revenue Service are some of the examples. So there is a lack of information, lack of awareness related to the career opportunity among the youths.
Exactly. So in short, tell us about the responsibility of different stakeholders in building the environment.
Different stakeholders, I would say, responsibility is of everyone. I understand that one of the objective of education is not only to provide information, but whatever we have gathered from our education system, we should be useful to the society. So I would say that there is an essential role and responsibility from government. Government has been doing and encouraging. There are a couple of facilities, free of cost coaching provided by government of Assam also. That's a good initiative since couple of years I have observed. And also from civil societies, from the media houses, from the institutions, educational organizations, from different NGOs, from the public sector units. One of the reason could be lack of financial resources, so that the candidate might not be able to afford high coaching fee, so that if somebody can provide good scholarship, that could be one of the reason. And these are the couple of points which I would like to highlight related to the particular question.
Stakeholders.
Okay.
So only working hard will not be enough. Proper guidance is also equally important. So once I heard about Mission 100. So can you just elaborate what is Mission 100? I also heard about it.
Okay. So before we started our organizations, we needed a reason and a force multiplier. So we started with a Mission 100, that is producing 100 civil servants in the next 5 years of time period from the northeastern region. And so far it has been an exciting journey, and we are hopefully that in the next 1 or 2 years we'll be able to achieve our Mission 100.
Okay. So last but not the least, give some tips to our future IAS and IPS officers.
Great.
How to prepare for the exam.
I think preparing for civil services examinations, I would say civil services examination is not a job. It is a service to the mankind. One should have a correct motivation why they want to prepare for the civil services examinations. And the motivation cannot be a fancy. The motivation should be, let's to do for the society, for the development, maybe economic empowerment, women empowerment. So once somebody has a specific motivation that why I want to prepare for the civil services examinations, then 50% of the job is done.
Okay.
And the second part of the story comes how to prepare. And for that I would suggest that the guidance is much more important. Guidance can be nurtured from anyone, maybe the qualified persons who have already achieved or maybe already a civil servant. If the person can provide time, would be good enough. Or a person who has long history of training and mentoring the candidates would be also good enough. So for that the guidance and coach is required, because civil service examinations tentatively it requires a dedicated of 1 year of study, and that 1 year of study I have divided into 3D. That 1D stands for discipline. That a student has to be extremely disciplined while preparing for the examination. The second D stands for determination. If a candidate is really determined to prepare for the civil services, so that has to be the nurturing force, that yes, I want to become an IAS or IPS or maybe allied service officer in the next couple of years. And the last D is dedication. While mentoring my own students, I have observed that many of the students, as the preparation is 1 year, so initial stages, couple of students, they get energized and they start their preparations. But slowly, they get motivated, demotivated for some of the reason. So the dedication for the preparations is extremely important. Once the 3D is available with one of the candidate, the next status is related to how to prepare. In the how to prepare, first thing I would suggest to the candidate that understand the syllabus, understand the pattern. When we talk about the UPSC civil services examinations, it has 3 stages: prelims, main examination and interview. When we talk about the APSC combined competitive examination, it has also 3 stages: prelims, mains and interview. Prelims is more of our MCQ pattern, objective type of questions, where for UPSC is different, APSC is different. For APSC there is an optional subject, but for UPSC there is a general studies paper, there is a CSAT paper, civil services aptitude test. For the mains examination, it is a subjective. For APSC there is English, there is essay, general studies, 2 optional papers currently. For UPSC there are general studies, 4 general studies paper, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, including essay paper, 1 language paper, 1 English paper and 1 optional paper. And interview, all about UPSC defines interview as personality development. So first of all, first thing is required to understand the syllabus of the examination. If a candidate is preparing for UPSC civil services, what is the syllabus of the UPSC civil services? What are the subjects needs to be covered in UPSC civil services? Like for example, geography. What is the pattern of the geography? What further subtopics and topics needs to be covered? Let's say economics, Indian polity, environment and ecology, science and technology, international relations, internal security. Okay, so these are the various range of topics, and once a candidate can understand the syllabus clearly, then I would suggest the candidate should go through the previous year question paper. At least 5 to 10 years of previous year question paper is recommended. As we understand, the civil services examination preparation requires a specific set of style of preparation. So unless and until we know what has been asked or what is the pattern of examination in the previous years, we may not be able to predict what is going to be asked in the next. Currently, if I talk about the recent 1 or 2 years of examinations of 2018 as well as 2017 civil services UPSC, I have observed the more of the questions which are asked are bit of dynamic. And dynamic, I mean to say, which are basically current related or which are basically current affairs. And I would advise that not only the books are sufficient, not only the mentoring and the guidance is sufficient, a student or candidate needs to read newspaper regularly. And for UPSC civil services examinations, normally The Hindu or The Indian Express is recommended. So one of the aspect which I have observed, many of the students have been asking me that it takes a lot of time to read the newspaper. So I would suggest that let it be how much time. Do not think about the time as of now. You read the newspaper and understand the issues. And how to read the newspaper? Definitely the guidance to read the newspaper would be only understanding the syllabus. So furthermore, newspaper reading, daily updates with couple of current affairs magazines also, understanding the issues, maintaining good physical health, as well as good couple of revisions, including test series, feedback assessment, answer writing practices. These are much more necessary for preparing for the civil service examination.
Okay. So any other tips you want to give? Or
last thing which I would like to highlight, that there is a misconception among the students that first they have to prepare for prelims, then they have to prepare for main examination, then they have to prepare for interview phase. So I would suggest that this is a completely or not a advisable steps.
exactly.
Preparation always is integrated way. I would suggest start preparing from mains examination, and keeping in a view that you are also side by side preparing for the prelims examinations. And for interview stages, as I have highlighted that it is a personality development, that means how you carry the personality. Interviewers are not going to check your knowledge, they are checking that your personality and how you carry. So for that, from the day one, I think good books and public speaking, communication skills needs to be inculcated.
So thank you so much. Hope our viewers has got the answer, especially those who are aspiring for civil service exam. Have a great day ahead, our future IAS and IPS officers. Till then, all the best for your future. Thank you for watching.